A forgotten artifact lies in pieces on a planet far from Earth. Few know it exists except those who took it back and those whose ancestors created it. 4 young people are thrown into a race against emissaries of the gods to find his pieces. Mistrust, greed, and magic are tangled in an endless web. What will the fate be of the universe once it is found and reassembled? Get Scepter of the Gods, The Rod of Truth now on Amazon, and get wrapped up in the saga that will not let you go.
Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotion, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day. Good morning, I'm Mark the Writer. I want to thank you for joining me today as we continue our series, 50 Ways to Love Your Soul. I hope you've been able to follow along with this series and are finding it helpful in getting your new year going in the direction of your lifelong goals, as well as in deepening your spirituality. If you know anyone who could use some encouragement in setting goals or spiritual development, please share this podcast or the blog version from motivational-devotional.com. What do you think it would mean to love what you have? In some ways, maybe this is similar to what I said about loving contentment. Some people might feel that this is very materialistic and that to love what you have means to put your possessions ahead of people and the spiritual path. As you might guess, I have an entirely different take on the matter. Like many people, I currently have too much stuff. No, I'm not a hoarder, but I can't park my car in my garage, and I still have things that belonged to my late wife that I will never use. Stuff needs to go. Now, I could look at all the extra stuff in my home, think about how much space it is taking up, realize how much time and effort is going to take to advertise it and get rid of it, and therefore resent that it is even here, and thus develop negative feelings about it. I promise you that I don't already love all this stuff with that sense of loving that I have it. I have a lot of creative pursuits going on that require a lot of gear, but even with all of that, I am a pretty simple guy. I don't need stuff to boost my sense of self-worth, you know? So I don't love that I have a lot of stuff, and I don't resent that it is here, but I do love the stuff I do have. Does that seem contradictory? Well, let me explain. Any of the stuff that I have is here to teach me something. I don't mean piece by piece, as in this item has a lesson and that item has another lesson and so forth. Instead of resenting the stuff that I have that I don't need, I consider how it ended up here in the first place. I think about whatever emotional process might have been going on that triggered decisions to buy this, trade for that, and snag this pile of freebies. That is the kind of reflection that brings me to meaningful life lessons. I can then look within and feel whether any of those emotional or mental processes are still going on. Granted, I didn't make the decisions that brought in the vast majority of extra things that I have, but I think it is just as helpful to do the same kind of reflection regarding the person who did. Maybe I might have the same kinds of things going on inside myself. Maybe I have a different set of things that have caused me to not get rid of it yet. Reflecting on the issue of why it is here can give me a perspective on how to prevent accumulation in the future. But this whole piece is not only about stuff. It is titled, Love What You Have. Don't you have more than just stuff? Don't you have things that are not material objects? I have relationships, and one of them is something I can't even begin to describe in this podcast for lack of time. I will just say that I am finding completely new levels of trust and hope, and I love this relationship with everything that I am. I have all of my positive qualities that include creativity, initiative, problem solving, and things like that. I have a positive attitude. Usually. I have 2 great dogs and an almost great cat. No, really, he's great. He's just a curmudgeon. I have hope for my future that is incomparable to hope that I've had in the past. I have education. I have experience. I have, at least I think so, wisdom. I have a strong, specific, detailed vision for my life. So when I say that I love what I have, I am referring mostly to what I cannot put a finger or a price tag on. That's because I have found that when I love what I have, it creates gratitude, and an abundance of gratitude will ensure you always have what you need. You may not always have everything you want, but you will always have what you need. That's when you become acutely aware that all of creation is conspiring in your favor and that the universe always has your back. By the way, love that too, because you do have it. The Greek scholar Herodotus said, "Of all possessions, a friend is the most precious." Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold-Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow.
Motivational Devotional is a production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.